Oh, you got something over there?
Got a little something.
Okay. There you go. Yes, Weeks! Did Brady see this happening a couple of years ago? And if you're the Patriots, you're a Patriot fan, did you want to see your team salvage this? Do you look at Bill Belichick and say, did he really want Tom Brady back? And, you know, I've said before with Belichick, this is business. Brady treated this like it's business. It's personal. Hey, I'm going to say goodbye to you. But this is a business decision from him as well. And sometimes players get caught up in the, oh, woe is me, or you didn't respect me, you didn't like me, you don't need me. Tom Brady looked at this and probably said, hey, I want to do something else. I want to do it elsewhere. And to make a business decision after 20 years, and he's going to be turning 43 in August, good for him to be able to do that. I think once this is all said and done, and you're going to get some, maybe the backstory with this, you're going to really find out what was going on. They were trying to trade for DeAndre Hopkins. Not that Belichick's going to stop or say, oh, we'll only get DeAndre Hopkins if we have Tom Brady. We feel like or felt like every move they made had something to do with Tom Brady. They've lost a couple of players. Kyle Van Noy ends up going to the Miami Dolphins, one of their better defensive players. Were they going to have enough money for Tom Brady? What does Brady want? What's this salary going to be? Does he get fair market value? How important is that to him? But Tom Brady, in a lengthy social media tweet, I won't read the whole thing. I'll just read the last part of it. You open your heart to me, and I open my heart to you, and Pats Nation will always be a part of me. I don't know what my football future holds, but it is time for me to open a new stage for my life and career. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. I will always love you and what we have shared, a lifetime full of fun memories.
You know what Dan does when he's not on the air? He tinkers with everything you can possibly see. He does this. He goes,
That's true. That is true.
and then he'll like walk over and go like this. Who moved this?
Yeah,
Now, who moved? And he'll go,
that is true. This is the one that I always, every day, I notice it. Now, I've noticed the footballs are out of order there too. But I go right here, and I make sure that somebody didn't turn the basketball.
Why?
So you got to make sure that it looks straight. But
such a simple question that can blow up the whole rest of the day.
see,
Why?
sometimes people will come in and they'll, like Mario comes in, and you know he's kind of top heavy, and then he'll be like that, and then I have to come in and go, oh, looks like Mario came through, and then I have to fix all of that like that. That's what happens around here. That's all. It's all about presentation. It's about order. It's about caring about the audience, letting them know that I'm right there with them.
It's called attention to detail. Maybe you heard of it.
Yeah. Or it could be attention deficit
It
disorder.
could be some type of psychological.
It could be, but that's okay.
Disorder. Some type of disorder.
You guys are ready.
Oh, you got something over there?
Got a little something.
Okay. There you go. Yes, Weeks!
Whenever you
Tom Curran joining us now to take a victory lap. Good morning, Tom. How are you?
Hey, Dan, how are you? No victory laps here.
Well, you did say to me a couple of weeks ago when I texted you, I said, I think Tom's going to stay. And you said, you know, I'll bet you anything you want to bet.
Oh, good.
So,
Thank you for reminding me.
Yes.
This is going to be a great spring once we get outside.
all right. So, what do you think transpired last night between Robert Kraft and Tom Brady?
I spoke to Kraft about 20 minutes ago. Brady reached out and asked if Robert had some time for him. Robert hoped that at his Brookline home they were going to sit down and have some resolution to what was going on. Even though negotiations hadn't even really started, the Patriots had not made any kind of an offer. Kraft hoped that that would be the result of what was going on, that they would start to make some headway. And instead, Brady was steadfast and going over there to explain that he was leaving the team. So Kraft said it was a very, quote, loving discussion. He was very sad. I asked whether or not – I asked if he felt that the Patriots had done enough in terms of negotiating and trying to make an effort to get Brady to stay, and Kraft said it wasn't about that. This is something that Tom feels he wants to do at this point, and he wasn't going to be happy in our system. Now, by system, I don't think that means offensive system. I think that means really the relationship at this point. While I don't think it's tense, I don't think it is disrespectful, I don't think it is loathsome, I think that the understanding, it's a philosophical difference. Brady thinks he can still play at a very high level for a while and wants to do that, wants to be surrounded by a specific set of players. And Belichick doesn't feel that way. And they haven't felt that way really since 2017, which is why he's never gotten any of these extensions that he was hoping for.
But do you think this is what Belichick wants?
Yeah, in the end. I mean, it's like, do you want surf or turf? Oh, I can take either. I could take either. Whatever.
Because
he stays.
And I had a source who told me this morning, and he said, look, I would not be surprised if the Patriots moved on from Tom Brady, but everybody wants to be careful in how this is presented to the media. What do you make of that?
I think that Tom Brady, and I wrote this the other day, wanted the ability to jump before he was pushed.
Okay.
And that's what he asked for with the ability to be a free agent. He knew even if he had signed a 2-year contract last year, the ability for the Patriots to trade him somewhere, the ability for the Patriots to cut him as cap savings, all those things remained in the offing. Yeah, I don't think that Bill is going to woke up this morning and said, boy, what are we going to do now? Now he has a massive amount of cap space available to him that is not going to be gobbled up by a quarterback. And certainly to have it gobbled up by a 43-year-old quarterback was not going to be appetizing. They're on their way.
I asked you this last week, I believe. I said, what is plan B? And you did not hesitate. You said Jarrett Stidham. Do you still believe that Jarrett Stidham is going to be the starting quarterback for the Patriots in 2020?
That's two different questions, Dan. Don't you give me that. Don't you put that hoodoo on me.
Okay, who is going to be the starting quarterback in 2020?
I think Jarrett Stidham has the inside track, Dan. Did you see? I'm not answering your question directly. I'm going to give you a different answer. I think that Jarrett Stidham is going to be given every opportunity to win that job. They will make moves since the only other quarterback on their roster right now is Cody Kessler, and those moves might be mid-tier veteran free agents, but I don't think they're going to get in the Andy Dalton business. I really don't. I'd be surprised if they did. That doesn't mean they won't, but I would be very surprised if they didn't say, okay, we can get done with Jarrett Stidham virtually the same thing we could get done with Andy Dalton. Let's just ride through here and see what we got.
How can Brady be this buttoned up, this prepared to be the greatest quarterback of all time, and say, I'm not going to be back with the Patriots, but not know where he's going? I find that absolutely, I mean, it's unfathomable that Tom does not know where he's going. Do you believe that?
I believe he's probably got a destination in mind, but this is to me, Dan, this is a 24-hour rebuke of what the Patriots have done and why they put him here. This is, hey, I'll be telling you where I'm going to go, but I'll damn well love to tell you on March 17th where I'm not going to go. It's New England. That's what this is about to me. I'm not coming back. Sorry. They had their chance. They could have negotiated with me from the end of the football season until now. They didn't do it. Now the tampering period is underway, and they still haven't picked up the phone. Last we knew, we had a fleet of tweets from Field Yates saying that Tom is on the hook to make the first move here. We just need to know what he needs so that we can figure out what we're doing. I mean, this to me is the Patriots backed him into a corner, and he said, look, I just want you all to know I'm going to go someplace in the next couple of days. I'm not sure where, but it damn sure is not going to be back to New England.
Yeah, but the game of musical chairs here, if the Chargers all of a sudden say, you know what, we're going to go all in on Tua Tagovailoa or Justin Herbert here and make Tyrod Taylor our quarterback, and Tampa says we're going to make a move on Teddy Bridgewater here, like Tom knows when the music stops, he's got a chair to sit down on. That's why he knows where he's going. I can't imagine that Tom would go, hey, you know the best time to look for a job is when you have a job, not when you're out of a job.
Right. I'm sure that whatever conversations he had on Monday crystallized enough that whatever opportunities he has are not going to vanish once he releases a statement on Instagram. He's not going to have those jobs go away today. So he needed to have that security before he made the statement. So, yeah, I agree with you on that. But I do think that this was a standalone day of saying goodbye to the Patriots, letting New England process it, letting that happen, and then he'll declare who he's supposed to go to play for next.
If you could ask Bill Belichick one question today, that question would be, and he'll answer it.
Why didn't you sign him to 2 years and $50 million last year? Why didn't you do this last August? Why didn't you get it done then?
I don't know if he wanted to.
I don't think he did either, bud.
I don't. I mean, you've been around him. I go back to every time when somebody says, man, they have to get along. They have to like each other. They're mutual respect. When I asked Brady at the Super Bowl, when I did the interview with him, I said, do you think you and Bill will ever open up the scrapbook and, take a trip down memory lane? He goes, no. Like he laughed. It was like, you got to be crazy. Do you think we're ever going to do that? So this is business for Bill. And I applaud Brady for realizing, you may have bruised feelings, make it business. Because if you sit here and mope and feel bad and, oh, woe is me, and you know what? You're going to miss out on the opportunity to treat it as business just like Belichick does. So match him. Checkmate. All right, you want to make it business? I make it business too. And here you go, Bill. Good luck.
Exactly right.
And
exactly right.
How could Tommy ruin St. Patty's Day in Boston?
Well, it's bleak. It's rainy. Everybody's stuck in their house anyway. At least he gave him some. Look, part of what we like to do as Irish is to cry in our beer.
I think today the beer, your mug will never get empty because the tears will just keep refilling it. So it's a bottomless mug that you're going to have today.
People are sad.
Yeah,
there's much sadness right now.
Keep your head up, though.
All right, man. I got to write a damn column.
Oh, a Dan column or a damn column?
Damn, D-A-M-N.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, good luck with that.
All right, buddy.
Thank you, Tom.
Thanks for following along. It's been nice.
Yep.
It's been a great relationship. This will be the end of it, I guess, now.
Probably not talk to you in a long time.
Okay. Be at the wake. You
had a good run there. You had a good run. I'm going to go to the wake of our relationship. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to say nice things about you.
Didn't you used to be Dan Patrick? All right, I'll see you.
Thank you, Tom. That's Tom E. Curran.
I don't know. I got to figure out how I'm going to tell my kid, though, because he was crushed when Deion Lewis left, and that was Deion Lewis. So I got to figure out the TB12 thing. But I can tell you one thing I know about my son. TB12 just made the list. Dead to him now.
Does this help or hurt the Astros with this separation before the start of the season?
Man, I can't see a way that it helps anybody.
But just that there was so much vitriol built up with these guys, and they were unapologetic, didn't take any blame. Guys were getting hit during spring training, and it felt like there was going to be some momentum or movement going into the regular season where, these fans were not going to let the Astros forget about it. Now we got to wait a couple of months, and I wonder what that climate's going to be like for the Astros when they start to play games.
I got to imagine it'll be the same. Fans, baseball fans are very good at having long-term memories. It's probably the sport with the most history and the most stats behind it and all that, and fans don't forget too easily. So I got to imagine it'll be somewhat the same. I just hope that we get baseball back in a short order.
Any idea of when the projected date for the season to start is?
Yeah, May 11th, I think, is the earliest it'll start now with the 8-day or the 8-week postponement that they announced yesterday, the day before. I don't see it happening on that date. I got to imagine it's going to be June at least, and that's just my personal speculation. I don't have any inside info, but I just don't see any way it happens before June 1st, and that's being pretty aggressive.
Ready? That's tricky in the corner. Oh, man, that's nice. You're my Mike Trout. Ready? Yes. Go get it, girl. I like it.
Let me go to JP, and then we'll check in with the Buccaneers. Hey, JP, how's morale?
Morale is not too good, Dan. I'm 5'10", 193. It's probably going to go up over the next few days with, comfort eating. So I used to call you guys a lot when I lived in Los Angeles. I had to move back to Boston in September, take care of some family stuff. But why I'm calling is I'm feeling sorry for myself and I'm being completely self-centered because when I moved to the West Coast in 2002, that's when all the stuff started happening great around here. And then when I moved back in September, the idea started in around July. Everything started falling off the wheels started falling off the wagon for Boston sports. Mookie Betts, the Red Sox collapse, the Bruins Stanley Cup Game 7 loss. Now this. It's got to be me. I'm trying not to take it personally.
I think you should move back to L.A., JP.
My friends are telling me. I got to take care of my parents, though, guys. Come on.
Okay. Well, thanks for calling, JP. I feel your pain. I can hear your pain. When Tampa's all in, or at least that's the report, all in, and I think you had this report. What does all in mean?
Well, what it means is that they're not going to be outbid in terms of salary. I mean, they had almost over $80 million in salary cap space. That probably went up a little bit. Like I said, I think what it means is they're going to make as good of a pitch as they can possibly make. If he wants, if he's worried about the offense, okay, it's too vertical, not enough protection. I want to run what I do. I don't think that's going to be a problem for Bruce Arians. Bruce Arians has coached a long time. Byron Leftwich will work with Brady for game planning purposes. Clyde Christensen was Peyton Manning's offensive coordinator after Tony Dungy left. They went to a Super Bowl, and Peyton ran Peyton's offense. Now, obviously, they weren't going to change it, but my point is it's something he could get if he wanted, a slot receiver that could work underneath like Edelman or somebody like that. I mean, they would work with him to try to make him comfortable. But there's already lots of weapons here, and they're going to draft a offensive lineman, maybe a running back that can catch. So the defense the last 6 weeks were among the best in the NFL. Those young guys grew up. They re-signed Jason Pierre-Paul. They franchised Shaq Barrett, who led the league in sacks. There are some football pieces here, but it's Tampa Bay. It's like great place to live, all those things. That's what I mean. They're going to sell him, but mostly if he comes, I think it's going to be because of Bruce Arians. Is
Jameis Winston a starting quarterback in the NFL, in your opinion?
I think he's going to have to work his way back to that, Dan. He's got talent. There's no doubt about it. I mean, the guy can absolutely rip the ball down the field. The problem is, and I've had it described to me, he's a slow twitch guy in a quick twitch position. He doesn't make decisions fast enough at times. Most of the throws that get him in trouble are underneath, and he doesn't give up on plays when he should at times. He's a talented guy. He works his ass off. He deserves to start in this league. He's one of the top 32 quarterbacks. I have no doubt about that. But he may have to, go the Ryan Tannehill route and maybe back up a wobbly starter somewhere, and when he gets his chance, light it up.
What's plan B for the Buccaneers if you whiff on Tom Brady?
Well, I think you're going to go from TB12 to TB5. It's going to
Teddy Bridgewater?
Teddy Bridgewater, yeah. which is a big, kind of a shot in the stomach when you look at it that way. But Teddy did a good job against them last year. They played the Saints. He threw for 304 touchdowns. So I remember Bruce Arians coming in after that game saying, man, I love Teddy, and he should be a starter in this league. Well, he may have to give him that opportunity. Are
you here to guarantee that the next quarterback of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will have the initials TB?
I think so. I think TB5, TB12 for Tampa Bay. It's made to order, Dan. I think they have to just go ahead and start filling the number later.
Yeah. This can't use that. We're talking to Sean Salisbury, Sports Talk 790, Houston Morning Drive host, and, of course, former NFL quarterback. The DeAndre Hopkins deal to Arizona. How's this playing locally?
Horrible, Dan. It is. I've tried since Bill's been here. I know how hard it is for those guys to coach, and it's difficult. I've tried to almost, I don't want to say champion his cause, but defend him a little bit. Dan, I cannot. You could give me $1 million today. I can't defend this trade. When I heard about this yesterday, my head, first of all, exploded. Fortunately, I got it back before I came on with you. But they made no – what you're doing is how do you stand up in front of your team and say we got better? You've got a superstar quarterback who's a sacred cow. You made him worse. You didn't improve any weakness. David Johnson is a guy, and you traded that guy who is the best football player consistently on the Texans, and that's including Watson right now as DeAndre Hopkins, Hall of Famer. You don't have a number one receiver. You have two of those guys that are two of the three receivers in Stills and Will Fuller that spend a lot of time watching from the sidelines. Potential for Will Fuller, yes, but doesn't play a full season. And you got rid of your best football player, and you got a fourth, a second, and you got an aging running back. It's not David Johnson's fault, but he's a guy. Dan, think about this. If you woke up this morning and I told you Michael Thomas and the Saints traded Michael Thomas and a fourth-round pick to the Texans for Duke Johnson and a second-round pick, and they threw in a fourth-rounder, what would you do? You think you'd call in the National Guard, right? Those are the two best receivers in the league. That's what this is. Yeah. You lost respect to players. You cut off you basically cut the knees off of a franchise, and he's already been one of those guys that people have not liked here. I think Bill O'Brien, the respect factor, he's not going to be able to stand in front of that team and tell them they got better. He can't handle a really, really good player that's opposition that maybe doesn't get along with. You mentioned emotion. Bill Belichick doesn't act on emotion. Bill O'Brien does, yet he doesn't want his players to. Bill O'Brien lost a lot of respect, I think, in that locker room yesterday. This is as bad a trade as this city's ever seen football-wise.
I saw this on Bleacher Report. Mike Tanier writes the Texans have to address Bill O'Brien's situation. Bill O'Brien is a staggeringly terrible general manager. He's also an awful head coach, as illustrated by many of his suspect decisions in the Texans blowing a 24-point lead to lose to the Chiefs in the AFC divisional round. Despite his shortcomings as a game planner, play caller, O'Brien has a 52-44 head coaching record and has led the Texans to the playoffs 4 times in 6 years. But I don't know what the rationale is. Will he hold a press conference and talk about this?
No, it'll be a while, Dan. He'll let it clear, and if he does, it'll be. I said I'm not going to discuss a guy's personal or my relationship with DeAndre Hopkins or what. He'll go through that. Here's the thing, Dan. Normally, when you run these things you run them by an owner. With Cal McNair, who's to blame on this also. Bill's got so much power in this organization. He walked up those steps, in my opinion, and what's done, and said, here's what we're doing, not do you approve of this trade. See, what Bill O'Brien, the coach, should have done is punch the general manager right in the face. The problem is he'd have to do it in the mirror because it's the same guy. And so imagine this, Dan, if Bill was a coach somewhere else where he didn't have power, and he was told that this trade was going down, wouldn't he walk into the general manager and owner's office and say, what are you doing? So, yes, while he's won games, Dan, when you got a quarterback like Watson, it's not just to get to the playoffs. It's to get deep and to be able to play in February. He's lost a lot of respect, and he's been questioned as a play caller and a coach. He's got too much power, and unfortunately, power, ego, and narcissistic attitudes ruin relationships, ruin businesses, and ruin football teams. He is the most despised man in this town right now.
Todd, what'd you learn today?
Sean Salisbury thinks if the Colts love Phillip Rivers, they should be even more into Tom Brady.
McLovin, what did you learn today?
The man cave is overflowing with mustard right now.
And corned beef and cabbage. Seton O'Connor, what did you learn today?
End of an era.
Yeah. Paulie, what'd you learn?
I don't know how we're going to eat all this corned beef, but
we're going to try. Yeah. Paulie brought in some Guinness. What we learned brought to you by... Oh, what did I learn, Todd?
If the Bucs don't get TB12, maybe they have to settle for TB5, Teddy Bridgewater.
It's important to know the benefits of setting up your business the right way. Good thing LegalZoom is there to help. Their network of independent attorneys can answer questions and provide legal advice. To learn more, go to LegalZoom.com today. Thanks for all the people making this possible. We'll talk to you tomorrow here on The Dan Patrick Show.